They were just words. Have you ever heard somebody say that? Along with things like sticks and stones may break my bones. Yeah, too often I think we misplace the value of words, don't we? Me, as most of you can tell, I kind of speak slower, and I'm just kind of a laid-back guy. But I think a lot of times we underestimate people by their words. There's so many words that have affected our lives, such as, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that wall. And there's so many words that have affected our lives that we didn't even know, such as Martin Luther King Jr.'s Sunday school teacher saying that I believe in you when nobody else did. James had an interesting thing when it came to words and how he described them. When you're describing someone's words, you're really describing the heart of that person. Honestly and truly, you can find out anything you want to know about somebody by just listening. They'll tell you through and through. No questions asked. I want to first start by saying that I hope everybody is having a most truly wonderful, blessed day. I want us to just go for just a minute and look into a couple ways that James described words. He first of all warned the people who were teaching. You know, that's a warning that each and every person of us should really take to heart, because it's so easy to manipulate people into believing anything that you say is true, because, hey, the way you're looked at, whether it's a preacher or somebody who just ministers unto other people. I've often heard it said that you're the most important person to someone, even if you don't know who that someone is. A lot of truth in that. So while us today, we view things that we say as just words, James, when he described it, he first describes it as the bit that's used to steer a horse. And then he goes in to describe it as the rudder used to steer a ship. As most of you know, I do live on a farm, and I've mentioned it before, and I actually have a horse. And understanding how you can control a 1,200-pound animal with something simple as a bit in its mouth is amazing. But honestly, tongue has a lot more power than that. It controls multitudes and multitudes of people. It allows people to get sucked into things that are not true or not scriptural just because they sound good. As we go throughout our life, we have to understand the great responsibility in the words that we have. Because the idea that they're just words is simply just false. Each and everything you say has a meaning. Whether we realize it or not, it's always extremely important for us to remember that as Christians, we have a duty for those words to be impactful. Just like with that horse, it has the ability to steer that horse in whichever direction we want to go. We have the ability to steer other people. The question is, are we using that ability for good or for evil? It's just a thought that I want us to think about. As we get ready to go through the rest of our week, to understand that the things that we say truly do have an impact on people, and they don't just represent us as people, but us as Christians and the church at Limeville. When people see us, they say his words and his conduct match that of a Christian. If not, it's something that each and every one of us as Christians need to take a little time to work on. Because words also can have a negative impact. You see, I have many times had to catch myself from saying things that, while I did not intend for them to come out to sound hateful, they did. And whether it was a stressful situation that had caused this to happen, or just out of irritation, we say things, then later regret it. I think it's a good idea for each and every one of us to start being a lot quicker to listen and a lot slower to speak. And maybe then we'll understand the true power that we have in the things that we say. I want y'all to each and all have a blessed day. We've enjoyed our trip here to Pigeon Forge, and I miss each and every one of you, and I can't wait to see you again. God bless.